Barron. Thank you for attending tonight. It is Monday, February 23rd, 2026. This is the regular meeting of your Board of Education for the Glendora Unified School District. We had closed session at 4:30. We are now reconvened at 6:08, where I'm happy to say there's no reportable action. So we will move on to the roll call for the open session.
Member Garcia? Board Clerk Cam.
Present.
Board Member Munoz.
Present.
Vice President Lopez.
Here.
President Clifford.
Present.
Note all our members are here.
All right, thank you very much. 3.4 is the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag, and we've seen a lot of that on TV lately, if you've watched the Olympics. Maya, would you lead us in that, please?
Ready, begin.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Maya, very much. Next item is adoption of the agenda. We have two changes of the agenda tonight. Item number 6.2 is going to be removed from the agenda, and item number 9.1 is going to be removed from the agenda. So, but for those two items being pulled, everything else is going to stay the same. May I have a motion to approve, please?
Motion.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Is there any opposition? There is not. We will move on. Thank you. With the agenda, public comment. I have three public comment cards. The first card is from Steve Rodriguez. Good evening.
Hello. So I am a parent with 3 children in the Glendora School District, including one who participated in the countrywide walkouts to protest Trump's secret police, otherwise known as ICE, in their continued victimization and state-sponsored terror campaign against black and brown members of the community, and now even white citizens if they refuse to allow their kidnappings to continue unabated. I am here to present a counterpoint to the 2 people who spoke last time in opposition to our children's walkout here in Glendora. First and foremost, to the young people who protested Trump's Gestapo, including my own child, please know that by now the majority of the people of this country know that you are on the right side of history. We see you, we respect you, and we know that you deserve better leaders than people like Gary and his human centipede of bootlickers up there who keep them in power long past the point at which you have anything worthwhile to offer. Seriously, Gary, how many times do you need to get these cowards to vote for you as president before you feel like your ego is satisfied? And to you cowards, why are you up there? What is the value of running for a position of leadership just to bow down to this lowlife grifter? I would tell you that you should resign if I believe you had any decency inside of you, but you don't, because if you did, you would not be Gary's pathetic little minions. Secondly, shame on any of you for opposing our young people's bravery and standing against a tyrannical government led by a decrepit, dementia-addled criminal who is named over 1 million times in the Epstein's files. Shame on you for coming up here to cry your crocodile tears about what you claim is your concern for our children's safety. If you're concerned about the safety of our children, why are you not concerned about the paramilitary force that's invading and occupying Minneapolis right now? Tear gassing children and using a 5-year-old as bait. Why are you not concerned about Trump's Gestapo executing mothers and nurses in cold blood? Why are you not concerned about them using chemical warfare grenades that stopped a 6-month-old baby from breathing as his family was trying to get him away from the violence created by Trump's secret police? Why are you not concerned about the fact that Gary and his wife are racists who actively invoked for the same secret police to come to our community? Shame on you for clutching your pearls up here about profanity and signs opposing fascism and when they're opposing the kidnapping of children, but not once, not fucking once, condemning the adults who attacked those children, who shouted profanities at them. who insulted them on behalf of your orange messiah. And finally, Gary, you mocked the kids for what you derided as social justice. And it makes sense that it bothered you, because you, an alleged former cop, but definitely a current racist, know nothing about justice. I have heard you multiple times run your mouth about what you think you have done for this community over the past 40 years, keeping us safe. And I can tell you, those children did more to keep this community safe out there fighting for this democracy than a leech like you has done in 40 years feeding off of our tax dollars.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker is Sarah Barron.
Excuse me. Good evening, members of the board, Dr. DeGracia and staff. I want to convey what I believe is the prevailing sentiment among many in our community regarding the recent student walkouts. In a word, people were appalled, incredulous, dismayed, and disappointed. They were appalled by what they observed. Students from our Glendora Unified out on public streets shouting insults and obscenities at passersby, engaging in conduct that reflected poorly on themselves and on the district. Some Glendorans, unaware of SB 955, perceived this behavior as being tacitly supported or at least insufficiently addressed by staff. For many, it appeared to be activism untethered from understanding. They were incredulous at the characterization of the event as an exercise of free speech. Fighting words, true threats, harassment, and speech that incites an immediate breach of the peace fall outside First Amendment protection. In fact, the LACO website specifically states that students protesting off campus do not have the right to use obscene speech and signs per California Ed Code 48907. Glendorans were dismayed by what felt like a shift from academic focus to political activism. Many residents are concerned that organized external influences are shaping student action in ways that advance political objectives rather than civic literacy. Whether or not that perception is accurate, it is real and it deserves attention. They are disappointed by what they view as a missed educational opportunity. If students are going to engage in civic protest, then it should be accompanied by rigorous instruction. For example, what categories of speech are protected under the First Amendment and which are not? What is the lawful process for changing policies or statutes with which one disagrees? What is the Supremacy Clause and how does it operate when federal and state policies conflict? What is national sovereignty and why does it matter in a constitutional republic? These are substantive civic questions. Addressing them would elevate the conversation from slogan-driven activism to informed citizenship. Finally, many in the community felt betrayed. During COVID, they perceived state-level directives overriding local control. Now they see what they believe to be ideological currents influencing school culture without adequate guardrails. They question whether the district has adopted clear policies to navigate recent state mandates while preserving neutrality, order, and academic focus. If Glendora Unified is to remain the pride of the foothills, the priority must be education, grounded in intellectual rigor, viewpoint diversity, and the rule of law, not political mobilization. Nevertheless, I want to acknowledge and thank you for all your hard work and your really rapid attention to rectifying things. Thank you.
Thank you. And the last speaker card I have is Anya Dellinger.
Good afternoon. I'm Anya Dellinger, a junior at Glendora High and a captain of Glendora High School Speech and Debate, which runs the debate programs at the high school and Goddard Middle School. I would like to thank the last speaker for her words on the academic scene at Glendora High School, and I would like to offer you an opportunity to bolster Glendora's academic reputation. Debate is one of the few extracurriculars on campus that requires argumentation, critical thinking, creativity, and teamwork. We foster confidence, eloquence, presentation, and attract some of the most high-achieving students on campus. If this board does not take action, we will be forced to close our doors, if we even have doors by then, but I'll get to that. To lose us would be a grave blow to the already decaying scene of academic scene of Glendora High School, which is why I'm here today speaking on Debate's behalf. We are part of the National Speech and Debate Association, or the NSDA, which is a very prestigious organization that operates nationwide. There are about 3,000 high schools and nearly 5,000 coaches nationwide that participate in its competitions. I would not be surprised to learn that Glendora High School is the only school in the entire league that does not have a coach and receives no funding. Having a coach in our current league is so ubiquitous that being without one makes doing the thing we love almost impossible. First, debate operates much like a sports team. Imagine, briefly, the football team being thrown onto the field without a coach. They would scatter and run blindly at the other team. Picture students running practice, trying to wrangle each and every team member into doing drills. Who would talk to the referee? Who would send in substitutes? Who would buy the equipment, raise the money, secure transportation? In debate, we do. We do it all. Debate captains are essentially captain, coach, competitor, booster board member, and advisor to both the high school and the middle school, on top of our overwhelming duties as students. At times, we have over 40 hours of homework a week. 40 hours. And this is in addition to 40 hours of school a week, other extracurricular obligations, familial obligations, and dozens of hours of research we pour into planning and preparing for meetings and tournaments. As if our current problems were not enough, our advisor, Mr. George Hoffmeister, is planning to retire in about 3 years. No other teacher is willing to let us use their room after school, and I mean no other teacher. We have tried every single teacher at school. Under current school policy, the school deems clubs to be school activities and thus assumes legal responsibility for them. Teachers are simply not willing or not able to take on the enormous responsibility that is attached to being a club advisor, which has already resulted in the shutdown of Academic Decathlon, Model UN, and will shut down mock trial by next year. If debate cannot find a replacement for Mr. Hoffmeister after his retirement, then the 6th graders we are currently training at Goddard will have no club to be a part of when they enter high school. So, that is all to say, I am begging this board for some sort of financial support and a policy change that would make it easier for teachers to become club advisors. This would not only solve debate's imminent housing crisis, but a problem that plagues dozens of clubs around campus, and may even lead to the revitalization of clubs that shut down for this exact reason, like Academica. I know that resources are scarce, but I implore you to at least consider alleviating our burden, or at the very least, change school policy to allow for our immediate and permanent survival. On the former, I ask that we receive at least a few $100s to be used for tournament fees, and that the district consider making future plans to convert after-school academic extracurriculars into electives, or make them official after-school activities that have paid coaches to run them. This will ensure that debate and other clubs do not just disappear after a few good years, like in the status quo. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, I have no further cards, so we will close the public comments and move on to the student board member report. Maya, you're on.
Good evening, everybody. I would just like to start and say Happy Lent, Happy Ramadan, Happy Lunar New Year, and Happy Black History Month. It's not talked about enough, but February is such a great month. And let's get into it. Tonight we're going to be talking about Cullen, Stanton, Sutherland, Sandburg, and GHS. Cullen. Cullen students have been busy with field trips and other fun events. Open house was a success with all of our students and staff displaying their hard work for parents to see. Students participated in a wonderful kindness week organized by Miss D, and they had the opportunity to choose kind every day during lunch. The chess club started back up, and we have a full house once again. The 4th graders went to the Gene Autry Museum to learn about California's rich history, and the 2nd grade students had the opportunity to learn about motion with a visit from the Discovery Science Cube. Our 4th and 5th graders took first place at the GUSD track and field meet. All in all, the Condors continue to work hard in all they do, and we couldn't be more proud of them. Stanton. Stanton took its 5th grade panorama picture on Thursday, bringing the whole class together for a memorable group photo. 4th and 5th grade students had the opportunity to participate in the GUSD track and field event. It was a great way to bring students together for a friendly competition and school spirit. Ms. Cook hosted a pizza party for 3 of our classrooms to celebrate students who earned Eagle Bucks for their positive behavior. Students enjoyed pizza, laughter, and time together as a reward for their hard work and good choices. We ended the week with an amazing assembly presented by the Imagination Machine. The actors did a fantastic job bringing our students' original stories to life right on stage. It was so special for our students to see their ideas, creativity, and voices celebrated in such a fun and engaging way. What a memorable way to wrap up the weekend. Sutherland. Sutherland students and families have been busy with lots of fun and engaging activities in the month of February. In the STEAM lab, students explored the engineering and design process by building Lego creations and coding micro bits to play rock, paper, scissors, all while practicing teamwork. Our 4th and 5th graders showed great perseverance and sportsmanship at the elementary track meet, earning 4th place overall. We also celebrated Kindness Week with lunchtime activities organized by Miss L and our junior counselors, helping spread empathy and positivity across campus. Families enjoyed connecting at our PTA dine-out night at Yoderland and at a family night at Altitude Trampoline Park. Our 4th and 5th grade Wax Museum brought learning to life as students dressed up as historical and present-day figures and shared their research with our school community. We're also excited for our upcoming talent show on February 27th. Sandburg. Here are the few of the happenings at Sandburg this month. We recognized Kindness Week on February 9th through the 13th with various lunchtime activities, including the exchange of Valentine grams and additions to our kindness wall. Avid and environmental horticulture students enjoyed a field trip to Cal Poly Pomona to learn more about post-high school opportunities in the fields of agriculture and hospitality. Sandburg hosted the Lunar New Year celebration on February 17th with a dragon dance, fortune cookies, and a wishing tree during lunchtime. Students enjoyed learning more about Chinese traditions and their zodiac signs. The glow dance takes place on Friday, February 20th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. in the Sandburg Gym. Students are looking forward to participating in our first evening dance of the school year. And now Glendora. I'm excited to share some of the amazing events and accomplishments happening on campus over the past few weeks. First, we kick things off with our Action Reveal Assembly. Our ASB class worked super hard to put together our best pep rally yet and decked out our gym in Stranger Things decorations. If any of you guys saw pictures, it was incredible. We had a dad who made a life-sized mind flayer. It was insane. And our theme for Action, for our 50th anniversary of Action, is DC Superheroes, with freshmen as Beast Boy, sophomores as Aquaman, juniors as Batman, and seniors as Superman. We are super excited for Action coming up on March 20th, and we invite you all to be there. During the assembly, we announced that class shirts were officially on sale and game signups were open last week. The energy and school spirit were incredible. We had performances from band, pageantry, show choir, the drama department, and for the first time, our mariachi band. Later that same day, we hosted our first ever winter formal dance, which had an amazing turnout. Students danced, sang karaoke, and participated in games throughout the night. It was a huge success and a great way to bring our school community together. From February 9th through the 13th, we celebrated Kindness Week. Throughout the week, we organized activities focused on spreading positivity and awareness. Students participated in positive note-making, and we even had a flower truck on campus. On Monday, our ASB classes visited local elementary schools as our kindness crew, greeting and assisting students as they arrived at school. It was a meaningful opportunity to connect with and uplift our younger community members. We also hosted our first ever talent show, featuring 13 incredibly diverse and talented acts. The event highlighted the creativity and talent within our student body and had a fantastic turnout. Another exciting tradition this season was Powder Puff and Powder Buff. Junior and senior boys were coached by our volleyball players and competed in Powder Buff, and junior and senior girls were coached by our football players and competed in Powder Puff. The seniors came out on top in both competitions, and both events had great attendance and school spirit. In athletics, we are incredibly proud of our girls' water polo team for making it to the CIF finals. Their hard work and dedication have truly paid off. Looking ahead, on February 26th, we will host Future Tartan Day and Future Tartan Night for incoming freshmen. We are excited to welcome the next generation of Tartans and showcase everything our school has to offer. That's it for the school board report. And then, is this my time to talk if I have anything to add?
Yes.
Okay. I would like to add that our students are incredibly grateful for the opportunity to protest for what they believe in. And this was done in a peaceful manner as our students exercised their First Amendment right. If they felt heard on campus and in the community, they would not have felt the need to take these measures. Thank you to the Glendora police who helped oversee this. And if Glendora is to stay the pride of the foothills, then change in advocacy is needed. I've seen Glendora High School's demographics, and over 50% of our students are Hispanics, and that doesn't even account for all the rest of the other minorities. Changes in our minorities, and it's important to let them exercise those rights. They are kids, and sometimes they don't put things the way that they would like to, but we should be proud that they feel comfortable enough to stand up for what they believe in. Thank you.
Thank you, Maya, very much. That brings us to 4.2, which is comments from the members of the Board of Education. And tonight, I will start with my left with Trustee Garcia.
Thank you. I will keep it brief. First and foremost, I want to thank our community members who came to give public comment. I think our opinions are as diverse as our community, and I do want to thank you for coming in and expressing your thoughts. As far as our speech and debate, thank you for being here. I think it is incredibly important that our students advocate for themselves and speak up for themselves. I would love to learn more about what the speech and debate team is looking for, what is lacking, what it needs. I know you mentioned a few things, but I don't know who that would be that could look that up and provide us with, if there's anything this board can do. But if anything, just to be informed as far as the concerns that she expressed, if you could come back to us with that, that would be wonderful. Maya, thank you for your comment. I really, really do appreciate that. I'm gonna keep it short, but I do wanna extend an invitation to Whitcomb's Sip and Paint. We will be sipping mocktails, just to clarify. Someone messaged me and said, "You can't have alcohol." I know we can't. It is mocktails, and they will be prepared by Mr. Love from Whitcomb. And he will also be our instructor for the night, helping us paint a wonderful beach scene. And this is put together by Whitcomb's PTSA, who is made up of a lot of retired PTA moms, such as myself. I'm not retired yet, but I'm on my way out as far as PTA is concerned. And so this is incredibly important because our students at Whitcomb really need our support. So the funds go directly to support prom, and Ms. Chibata can tell us more about what it supports. But I believe in this fundraiser incredibly and would love to see more of us there helping our students. It is replacing the Ladies' Night Out. So if you're waiting for Ladies' Night Out, that's not going to happen. So please come out. It's going to be this coming Friday, the 27th at 6 p.m. and tickets are still available. So that is my shameless plug.
Thank you. Trustee Cam.
It's been a very busy time of year. It's been a lot of fun to get to go to a bunch of different events. The elementary track meet has been fun. I've seen so many proud parents watching their kids do all kinds of incredible things. PTA council meetings, the Imagination Machine, all kinds of fun stuff. So it's been a busy time. It's been very cool to get to see our community come together around a lot of really interesting and fun stuff. I appreciate our speakers tonight. Thank you so much for providing your feedback. We are looking at, I think at the last meeting I just said, we're going to be working on being prepared, and we're looking at all of anything we can do to make sure that we protect students. The Mind Flare was so impressive, and I think I had heard that a tractor trailer truck had to come to deliver it. It was so impressive, which was super cool. Oh, I'm being cut off. Hold on. Go ahead.
Did you want
Yeah, go ahead.
clarification? So, Emily Husung, she's our junior class representative. Her dad is an Imagineer for Disneyland. So he actually was able to take it apart to fit it in his truck. And then when he got there the night before, we were there setting up until like 11 o'clock at night. He like rebuilt it. So
Super cool.
He's amazing.
Amazing. Great minds in town, great family members that are willing to be an active part of our students' education, which is so fun. Speech and debate, I think you may have found the topic that unified everybody on the dais. We'll see what we can do. If there's anything we can do, we're happy to support you. There's nothing that I appreciate more than people being able to have dialogue as concisely and wonderfully as possible with different opposing views and get everything out, which is great. So that's pretty spectacular. And I will just close by saying a couple things. The first, the most important, is that it's really nice to put to bed the fact that Superman is far better than Batman, which is why the seniors chose it. So that's going to be the thing that I hold on to forever. And finally, if it's okay with you, Mr. President, there was a Glendora member that was incredibly near and dear to my heart that passed recently. And I was hoping we could close the meeting in honor of Mr. Richard King, who two of his daughters are employees for our district. He was at every GHS event, basketball game, football game he could get to. And yeah, just a great guy. That's it for me, thanks.
Thank you, and we'll make that motion at the end of the meeting for adjournment. Trustee Munoz.
Thank you, President Clifford. Well, first off, I want to say thank you for the speakers coming in. It's always great to hear different inputs. And as far as speech and debate, I definitely agree. If there's anything we can do, we will do it. Debate's very, very important. I know growing up, I was part of debate in my high school, and it leads to a lot of different opportunities, and it creates great leaders. So if there's anything we can do or any funding, we'll definitely look at that. Also want to shout out to the girls' water polo team. I know they made it to CIF, which was an amazing accomplishment to make it that far. So just want to give a shout to them, and excited to hear the Sutherland presentation along with Whitcomb and Sandburg. So that's all I have for today.
Trustee Lopez.
Well, first, yeah, Anya, thank you for your words for Speech and Debate Club. Something that definitely can be looked into. And then, incredible report, Maya. Appreciate all you said about our schools, all the positive things going on. And yes, we are very diverse as a district, and so that's something that we have to continue to tout. I mean, it's good. Diversity is good for a campus, for any campus, and for a school district. So I appreciate your words. And I also echo the sentiments for the water polo team. And it was a close match in the finals. And I believe they had another water polo match where they were within one goal of each other, weren't they, San Dimas and Glendora? So, yeah, a lot of good things happening in Glendora. Everybody should be proud of our district and the things that happen in our district. And we got to continue to move forward, and we got to continue to be positive and just continue to get better, right? Be on that trajectory of continuous improvement in all areas, right? Student voice is super important and should be super important to all the leaders of our campus as well as the leaders of our district. So we have to continue to listen, right? We have to continue to listen. So thank you very much, everybody, for their comments tonight.
Thank you very much, and just wrapping that up, to the students that spoke tonight, eloquence, it's always very nice. And Anya, I really think that you should reach out, again, and both to sponsors in the community that sponsor events at the high school, the debate club, and that form of, speaking and intellect is really important in the future, and I'm sure that you'll be able to get some funding and bring that up through whatever chain, whether it's through Maya's chain or Dr. Prince's chain or the superintendent's chain. Make sure you get back to us on a list of things that, go
Can
ahead.
I just,
Yes,
you know, it would be a good idea, Anya, to get in front of the Kiwanis Club of Glendora, all of our service organizations, the Rotary Club, and present. And we've had young people do that before, and the service organizations within Glendora, which I happen to know there's a superintendent that is the president of the Kiwanis Club, so he may be helpful in that situation. But but yeah, just to get in front of our service organizations, and they will always do something, whatever they can do. But they love having the students from Glendora High School come to speak to them. So that's another organization or other organizations to speak to. So.
but all of those service clubs require public speaking, which is what the debate club is about, the intellect so I think that I appreciate the fact that you have the forum to do that and that you reinforced it, Maya. I think that's really good. Our sporting activities here are great, we're reporting that, but even as important as that is that our pool, we broke ground on redoing our pool at the school, which was long overdue. So what's the timeline on the pool? It should be done by when?
Holding you to it.
Fingers crossed, it's supposed to be done September 2026.
All right, so September, it's not that far away, believe it or not, it's coming up, and I think there's been a lot of activity to get there, it's finally gonna get done, and I think that benefits not only the school community, but the community at large in the summertime, where all of the other residents get to use it, and I think that that's an important thing to know. And in closing out, I just want you to say that, you know, I too celebrate the diversity of opinions, and we all don't have the same ones, and we're entitled to that. And I think that this is the appropriate forum. We're not only trustees, we're also keepers of this community. So I appreciate the fact that people can come in at public comment and say what's on their mind, and I think that's healthy and important. So moving forward with that, the most important update besides Maya's is our superintendent
I can
report.
think of three more important ones that they're gonna hear. That's
Yeah.
gonna be from
I
Sutherland,
can't wait, by the
Sandburg-
way, that we have three
Sandburg
excellent.
and Whitcomb High School. I
Yeah.
can tell you, I'll be brief, and some of the announcements I was going to share have been shared. Thank you again. We love hearing the student voice. I have the opportunity to do that quarterly in the student advisory, but it's always great to hear from Maya and any student that comes forward as bravely as the two came forward this evening. So well done. Friday marked the end of the second trimester. We are 2/3 of the way done in the school year. It's the final third. I call that the final push. Elementary parent-teacher conferences are set for next week. Those are minimum days. Plan your lunches ahead of time, ladies and gentlemen, is what I'll say. After that, there'll be a number of people in the community. You're going to hear from Sutherland, Sandburg, and Whitcomb High School. Kudos to their professional staffs, not only for their persistence in the presentation tonight, but persistence all year long and their focus on continuous improvement. You may be seeing some pictures. Friday, we made some special visits to the first responders in and around Glendora that serve our school district, staff, students, and families. And we had fun times going into the Glendora Police Department, the local LA County fire stations, local urgent cares, First Rescue. You saw an ambulance service that we utilize for our football games and who often will come to assist students in times of need, great need. So we want to thank those folks. We went out to 15 different sites, fun thing to do on a Friday morning. Highly recommend it if you get the chance maybe to assist us next year. We hope to have this be an annual event where our leadership team goes out and serves back the community that serves us. You've heard about the girls water polo team. That's only the second time in their history they reached the CIF finals. Very close match, could have went either way. Great season by outstanding young ladies. The senior class is just exceptional. GHS also had the Ethics Bowl champions. They won the division championship on Valentine's Day on February 14th. Congratulations to the team and their advisor, Mr. Pat Hart. All 5 National Merit semifinalists for Glendora High School have been named finalists. That's also a first. 5 was the highest number ever in the history of the district for Glendora High School. We'll bring them back, all 5 of them, at a future meeting, as we will the Palomares 5, the student athletes that were chosen for not only academics excellence, athletic excellence, and leadership, and they'll be celebrated at a presentation and banquet on the 20th of April, and we'll have them at the board meeting on March 23rd. You heard a little bit, the pool construction project is certainly underway. Please be safe in or around that area and the pool, and we appreciate your patience. We hope we reach not only the deadline, but maybe with the assistance of weather and materials, maybe it's even a little earlier than that. So much appreciated. That's all I have, Mr. President.
Okay. Dr. DeGrazia, thank you. That moves us to item 5.1, and who would have thought that Sutherland Elementary would be the first one to present tonight? It's almost like you have an in, I don't know how.
I'm gonna go with this because we're the elementary school, so the youngest
Okay.
goes first.
We'll call it that.
That's how I'm gonna go with that.
But this is Mrs. Erin Fish, and would you, before you start, do you want to introduce your peeps that
I
are here
would
with you
love to,
tonight?
yes. I would like to introduce my awesome staff. I have our student support specialist, Chelsea Lesniak, Miss Jody Peralta, who's the kindergarten teacher and lead teacher, Miss Kathy Marston, who is also lead teacher in our 4-5 combo, and Miss Amy Curia, who is our instructional aide for our RSP or SAI classes. We have Nicole Kayumjian, who is our 3rd grade teacher, and I think I got everybody.
Thank you.
All right. So good evening, and I'm Erin Fish. Good evening, Superintendent Dr. DeGrazia, President Clifford, our Board of Trustees and members of Cabinet, and Maya, important role. Thank you for the opportunity to be here this evening and to share about our school. Okay, here we go. So as we reflect on our previous school year, we look to see how we're supporting the journey of growth and improvement. Being new to Glendora Unified and to Sutherland, I have taken the opportunity in my first 5 months, because it's only been 5 months, to just carefully observe the many things happening across our campus, including the wide range of supports in place for our students, both academically, socio-emotionally, behaviorally, and how they impact progress towards these goals. I've been truly excited to join the Sutherland community. From the moment I stepped onto campus, I have felt warmly welcomed by our staff, students, and families. I've witnessed our dedicated staff who are deeply invested in the success of their students, a supportive school community that actively engages through participation in school events and volunteering, and students who genuinely love being at school and are eager to learn and grow. I look forward to reviewing the results of our current LCAP survey, which will help shape my leadership goals moving forward. And while I already see and feel many of the strengths across our campus, we will dig more deeply into the data in the upcoming slides. And just those were the goals that were set from the previous school year. And again, being that I am new here, these are the things that I get to dig into and see how we're working through those. Okay. So as we look at student achievement, we can see that Sutherland has almost 65% of our students meeting or exceeding standards in language arts, and almost 60% meeting or exceeding in the area of math. In both language arts and math, our scores fluctuated within 1% from the previous year, which essentially shows that we are maintaining, with no major increases or decreases. However, compared to the state, we're 16% higher than the state in language arts and 22% higher in the area of math. And while not pictured here in analyzing the data further, our third grade students had a significant growth in the number of students who met or exceeded standard in both language arts and math. Overall, the percentage of students who met or exceeded standard in math in third grade increased by over 12% from 24 to 25. And so just overall, looking again at this, we have a high number of meeting or exceeding, but we're always looking to grow further. Okay. When we look at our data to support student engagement, we look at chronic absenteeism and our suspension rate. So the indicators of chronic absenteeism and conditions and climate provide information about how well we're engaging our students in their learning and how well we're providing a healthy, safe, and welcoming environment. We want our kids to feel safe at school and want to come to school. So when we look at our data, our chronic absenteeism, I can't see that far, so even with my glasses. With our chronic absenteeism, when you see that decline of 2.5%, that's the best decline. You always want to see decline in these two areas. But we are scoring in the green. We are only at 7.4% chronically absent. And then when we look at our suspension rate, there was that slight increase of 0.4%. So it did go from green to yellow, but keeping in mind that 0.4% is really one student. So our current positive attendance rate is 96.7%, which we make a big deal out of the percentages every month. We build our positive school culture by focusing on positive attendance through recognition and incentives at our monthly assemblies. And if you know Cody the Cougar and how cute he is, our kids are so adamant that they are going to win Cody the Cougar. So we do it in grade spans. And the class in that grade span that has the highest percentage gets to keep Cody the Cougar for the month. And they don't let me just say who the first place was. They want to know second and third because they want to know how close they are. And when you look at their average monthly percentages for attendance, you're looking at 95%, 96%, 97%. So it's really, these kids want to be at school and they're coming to school. We're still pushing for more though. And for families that struggle with attendance, we provide support through meetings and goal setting. Oftentimes when we look at elementary students, we think, oh, they're being late is really their parents' fault. Well, a lot of the times, but not always. So we want to meet with our families to look at how we can support them to get their kids to school every day and on time. With engaging lessons taught from our social-emotional curriculum, Character Strong, we are really creating that safe environment for our students so that they want to be at school. And as I said with our suspension rate, making sure we have a safe environment for all with our focus on restorative practices. And while we still want to see this number decrease, again, we're looking at one student, but we still want to make sure we're supporting all students. Okay, and I know you guys have seen this up close, so this is a lot on one page. But some key points to take away from our data. Oh, I'm sorry, yes. Okay, some key points to take away from our data. We continue to increase in enrollment. There were 455 students enrolled in 2022-23. It grew to 488 in the 24-25 school year. And this year we are holding steady around 500, and we just hit 501 as of Thursday of last week. So very excited that we passed that threshold. Our chronic absenteeism, as I mentioned before, has declined significantly from 16.5% back in 22-23 to 7.4% in the 24-25 school year. It's an over 9% point drop or decrease, which is what we want. We address equity gaps by fostering an MTSS framework and ensuring good first instruction in the areas of academics, behavior, and social well-being. Through this data, we can see that there are some subgroups that we can focus on, as there are gaps between how they are performing as compared to our overall school population, our students with disabilities, our special education our socially economically disadvantaged, and our Hispanic students are performing in orange and or yellow. And so those are areas that we definitely want to look at and how we can support those subgroups. This is just one set of data that we use to make instructional decisions for students based on trends and patterns. We work to know each student and their individual needs, so we are better able to support them and provide more targeted and focused support in attendance, academics, as well as behavioral and social emotional support. So really knowing them on an individual basis is key. There's not going to be the one, fix hits all of them and is going to help all of them, so we really have to know them on an individual basis. So through supporting our school story, throughout this time that I've been at Sutherland, and even though it's been a short time, it's all about building relationships to support our school. Through consulting with leadership and connecting with the staff and hearing from our parent groups, we really want to make sure, it's my job to make sure I'm connecting with all these people so that we can highlight our glows, but then continue to grow. So some areas that were things that glowed for me when I got here that I noticed, the strong implementation of our Character Strong curriculum. I love going into classrooms and seeing their community circles happening, as just one example. Meaningful family and community engagement. I've been in education for almost 3 decades, and I've never seen as much parent volunteering as I do at this campus. So that was the one thing that stuck out to me immediately. Our responsive and data-driven intervention programs. So impressed by the intervention that happens not only in the classroom, but also outside through our intervention programs and our specialized academic instruction. And then we are in year 2 of our Spanish dual language immersion program. Some areas for growth. We want to continue to support our high achievement and growth for every single learner. And as I mentioned before, there are some subgroups that we need to put additional focus on, but we want every learner to succeed. We want to strengthen and expand our Tier 1 universal support so that when we look at the needs of our kids, if we don't have what's helping them yet, we want to make sure that we're building that so that we can really help every student. We want to focus on that first instruction that happens in the classroom and then improve and maintain our steady attendance patterns. So through supporting our students, there are so many different areas that we are able to support our students. We have our awards assemblies, and these are just some of the pictures. We have our Big Buddies system, and our awards assemblies, going back to that, we celebrate attendance. We celebrate students who are demonstrating the Character Strong traits. We celebrate Students of the Month, and teachers choose them for different reasons. And we also celebrate students for reading awards, AR, how many words, the millions of words that kids have read is so exciting to hear. And they get excited when they get recognized for that. Our Big Buddy program, we have our younger grades and upper grades that are paired up, and they get together to spend time, whether it's reading a book, doing a project together, even spending time outside, but making that connection from the primary to the upper. Our community circles, again, through our Character Strong curriculum and just supporting our students' socio-emotional well-being, and I've gotten to participate in some of these, is really allowing students to connect, build community in their classroom, but also address different areas that might be concerns in the classroom and having that opportunity, a safe space to address them. Our student council, led by Ms. Marston and Ms. Al, getting our students to build that leadership and, plan different events and just be out there, just building their leadership capacity, which is great as they get ready for middle school and high school. Our junior counselors, which I will highlight shortly, that is led by Ms. Al, and we'll go into that more deeply. Our Spanish dual language immersion. Our STEAM lab, which also couples and is used for our art. And then our wellness room, where students have an opportunity to find a safe space. They do lunch bunch, different things in there as well. Supporting our staff. As I said earlier, I already mentioned the importance of building relationship. It's at the core of what I do. Regardless of how long I'm out of school. And I think for the staff that interviewed me when I came to Glendora, it is something that I really just impress upon everyone that it's so important to me that we build relationships. My first job is to support my staff and build relationships coming in after the start of the year. I wanted to focus on bringing together our staff, fostering strong connections and meaningful partnerships, enhancing our team capacity and supporting professional growth. So if that looks like, additional professional development for them, if it means that maybe a more veteran teacher is working with a more novice teacher to build their capacity, and, just starting more peer coaching, I'd love to jump more into that. And then this last one is creating conditions for staff to thrive. This one is really important to me. It's all about removing barriers so that our staff can do their job. It can be a behavior problem in the classroom that a teacher's struggling with, that it's our job to step in and help them with that, remove that barrier, support that child, but allow the rest of the class to thrive. If it's a facility issue, it doesn't matter what that barrier is, but my goal is to remove those barriers so that they can foster, that we foster an environment where they are feeling supported and they can thrive as teachers and support staff. Okay, and you can see the awesome staff that we have. And actually, we have Ms. Peralta and Ms. Marston were actually recognized at our PTA meeting for their contributions to our students. Supporting parents and community. These are just some areas, but the first thing that I needed to do in order to support our parents and community was to establish consistent communication with our families. They receive their weekly bulletins, they get all their communication through Parent Square, and I try to be as open and available to families as possible when they have concerns, they want to just talk. We have our school site council and ELAC meetings, our parent book club. Thank you, Miss L. We are reading The Anxious Generation, which is really stemming. We have had 2 meetings. The next one's coming up in about a week, and really diving into that book to just break it down and talk about how it applies to what we're doing in the schools and what parents are doing at home. Our Halloween costume parade, our grade level special events, which is another area you heard about, the Wax Museum. We had a 3rd grade business day, just different events like that that bring in not just our school community, our families to come in and just really enjoy those things. Our math and literacy nights that we have coming up in March and April. So many PTA sponsored events. From lunch on the lawn, they're doing the talent show, our monthly dine out nights. We have mother-son dance coming up, father-daughter, or special adult. And all of those different things that allow our community to come together. I mentioned the parent volunteers, which is so strong at Sutherland. We are working on a service project with our Girl Scouts. And then our Masterpiece Mornings, which is, although we have art provided through Prop 28, we also have our parents through PTA who offer Masterpiece Mornings. So once each trimester, they focus on an artist, and they teach the kids at each grade span, so they adjust it accordingly. And they bring that artist and the history, and they get to recreate one of their masterpieces. Oh, there's that last picture. And then just to focus on, I mentioned earlier, junior counselors. This is something that Miss L, our student support specialist, is in charge of, responsible for, and makes the magic happen. And these are some of the kiddos that are in it. It is something that's a cross-age peer mentoring program. It's building that student leadership, and it's effective role modeling. When you see these kids working with the younger students to help facilitate situations on the playground, to help facilitate play, it's amazing. And I'll be out on the playground, they're like, Miss Fish, what time is it? I have to go to the kinder playground. They're so excited to work with the younger kids. This process of building this youth relationships, it goes through a whole process. They have to go through screening. They have to go through training. They go through onboarding, and then you get to see them in action. This is powerful, and these kids are going to do great things. And they are so proud of the impact that they have on kids, and it's so fun as adults to be able to watch this happen. And then just continuing on the journey and our next steps. My goal is that we will continue to make growth in our culture and climate, increase our ELA and math CAS scores, and strengthen and expand our multi-tiered systems of supports here at Sutherland. And I thank you again for the opportunity to share about Sutherland this evening, and open for questions.
Yeah, it sounds like Sutherland is still one of the happiest places on earth. Thank you.
I did forget to mention that, yes.
I said one of them. Yeah. Any questions from the board?
I have a couple of questions. Thank you for being here. Lovely presentation. And congrats, it's your first official presentation to the board. So, you did it, you're done. Whew, breathe. Okay, I have a question about your orange and yellow subgroup categories. And how are you supporting these subgroups? I'm sure there's many ways, but what is the one way that you can talk about that you feel is truly contributing to moving the needle in the right direction?
I think there's two components of it. I think number one is getting them to school. We need to make sure that they come to school, that they're happy and safe at school. When you look at attendance and you look at the different subgroups and you look at maybe who's struggling, is not scoring as high as they should in attendance areas, that is one area we need to look at. And that often correlates to some of these subgroups that are not performing as well. So we have to get them to school first, making sure they feel safe and they want to be there and they're happy. But then that leads into their success. Do they feel successful at school? Are we providing them the appropriate interventions that are helping them to fill those gaps? And just as an example, today through our IST process, we met about a student, and it's the biggest team I've ever had in an IST. It was so great to walk into it and talk about all the different ways, all the things, the interventions that are already in place and what we're going to do next. So it's really, again, going back to let's get them to school, let's help them to feel successful and putting in the right interventions, but it's about knowing them.
Thank you. And do you know, and I don't mean to put you on the spot,
That's okay.
but do you have the demographics for your school as far as how many of your students are considered socioeconomically disadvantaged?
I did
Like what
have those notes
percentage
here.
of your?
I had it on my notes too.
That's okay. I just
No,
kinda,
I think my Hispanic population, I want to say it's 54%. It's between 48 and 54%. Between socioeconomically disadvantaged and students with disabilities, I apologize because I did have one is 17-something% and the other's about 19%. So
Okay.
it's a considerable.
that's kind of what I wanted to know, since those are the ones that are in your orange.
Was I
So
close?
thank you,
Yeah.
and I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Yeah,
You
no,
could've gotten
it's
back
okay.
to
But
me
I
on
mean,
that.
when you look at it, the SED and SWD, it's about 15 to 20% within that range,
Okay.
if I remember correctly.
And I had one more question about your parent book club. Two more questions, actually. Parent book club, what's the participation? I love that book. I read it myself. I think it's such a valuable tool, so I'm glad you guys are doing that. But how many parents do you currently have in your book club?
It's very small, and
Okay.
we want it to build.
Okay.
We went from 3 the first time to, see, I was close.
And of course, she has it on her cell phone.
Yeah, I had it in we had about 3 the first time. We were trying to build it, get other people to join, letting them know it's not too late. Can always
Yeah.
listen to it on Audible or
Yeah,
however.
yeah.
But the goal is we are alternating it. The first one was in person. The second one, where there were more in attendance, was virtual. So alternating it that way to kind of try to build that.
Good.
But there's still room for.
Well, you have the mic right now, so the parents that are watching, just give them
Come
another
on,
reminder.
it's not too late. It's not too late. And it's something that I don't know that we always take an opportunity with how life gets so busy to sit and read something like this. And, Miss Elle and I were already talking about the book we want to do next year. So we want it to grow.
Well,
for sure.
thank you for providing that opportunity for parents, and I mean, it's an opportunity for our students at the end of the day, right? 'Cause,
Oh, for sure.
and then finally, I love Sutherland's Garden, and I was wondering if, is it active? What do you guys do with that? Yeah.
So, actually, going back to the Girl Scouts service project, that's one of the areas that we are looking at in terms of making that their service project to help revitalize it. But I do know in the fall, they harvested the most beautiful, I think it was romaine they made the most gorgeous salad. And I come from a family, my father owns a produce company, so I've been around produce my entire life. And to see produce like that, I'm like, yes, that is what you want it to look like. So they are harvesting good product from there, but we do need to liven up that. And as well as our TK kindergarten is a little bit in need of some love. So that is something we're working with Girl Scouts to see if we could get those.
Awesome. Well, I'd love to see
Okay.
what you guys do with that. It's such a great little investment that happened there once upon a time. I'd
Yeah.
love to see it thriving again. Thank you for being here, and
Thank
for
you.
all your staff for being here as well.
Thank you.
I'll just say briefly, I was so thankful to get an opportunity to join our superintendent for a walkthrough of the campus. For the longest time, your teachers there are incredible.
Yes.
It is really cool to come in and just feel a culture and feel everybody from the office staff all the way through each individual classrooms. Walking with you and your engagement with super precocious little ones was so spectacular, to get to see how you manage that. But I was also very impressed with in such a short amount of time, it's very evident and clear that you have an idea of where you would like this campus to go. And I was really appreciative of that. I thought that was really cool to see and get a glimpse into your professional background and what you're bringing to our campuses, which is so cool. And see how you've problem solved little things like what can I handle today and what is a long-term goal. I know it wasn't super long, but I was able to pick that up from our conversations, which I appreciated. So I'm very excited about your campus and all the things you guys are doing and your teachers and all the wonderful things. I will wrap up by saying that Dr. Height's book is incredible, The Anxious Generation. And along with that, a quick shout out to, because I've had parents email me this week about how much screen times are our kids getting in our schools, and I pointed them to our TK Kinder Informational Night, which is coming up on March 11th. Thank you. I have it in my calendar. So that'll be a really fun thing. But it's so good to see that this is what the community has a hunger for, and it's so great to see that lockstep in line with what your teachers and your administration and our parents are all coming together to say, how do we support kids in the best way? And 10 years ago, it was about, are we a one-to-one district? And now it's like, whoa, pump the brakes and let's see. And can we pivot in a meaningful way for our students to be so intentional about their learning, which is great. So thank you so much, and I appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
No, I just want to briefly just say thank you for the presentation. Based on your presentation, I know it's been 5 months in there, and it looks like you've identified some issues and problems that you want to definitely address at the school, and it sounds like you are on the right track. So any support that you need from us or the board, just please let us know.
Great, thank you.
Wonderful presentation, really enjoyed it, and thank you to the staff for being here. They're awesome. And I appreciate you talking about the name, face story, right? We have to know every student's name, face, and story. That makes a huge difference in how, it makes a huge difference for students coming to school, right? If you know, and it helps us realize what they're dealing with on a daily basis, and to be supportive of them, right? So I appreciate that. You understand the building of connections, which is awesome, which will bring kids to school and they will achieve. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, and one of the things I appreciate about you and your staff is that you've taken, the measures to even go the next step for our safety of our students there. Met with the sheriff's department, talked to them about the nuances involved with Sutherland, meaning when you call 911, the black and white from Glendora doesn't show up, another one does. And working through those issues, both of those organizations are great organizations. They have different priorities based on their size and strength. And I think from all my reports, those meetings went very well. And you both appreciate each other. And I think Captain Mullen understands the needs of Sutherland better now as a result of meeting with you and your staff. So I appreciate those extra meetings, because that's the one school, I think it's the only one that we have that has a different reporting area, which is important because parents always call us and they want to know what Glendora did, and we're like, hey, guess what? And by the way, Glendora will respond too, just because they're super, super good. But that's one of the things I think where you went above and beyond, and it gave the sheriff's department your expectations. Is that a good way to put it?
Yes, I don't think I was saying, yeah. And I mean, honestly, I learned coming from a school district where I was very connected with our SRO, and I want to say the sheriff came from Temple Station, which is that's who I worked with, and I worked with for 25 years. So it was really great to have that connection. But just knowing, because I worked in, outside of the county area before, and being the one school that did, so knowing that on the street it's a GPD issue, but everything else is in
From the parking lot back isn't.
Yeah, but either way, I think it's been really helpful, and I appreciate Dr. DeGrazia and Tracy for helping, and Tammy for helping set up that meeting so that we can build that relationship.
Well, thank you very much, and great presentation, and thank you, staff, for showing up tonight. All right, no further questions. We'll move on to presentation number 2, which is from Sandburg Middle School, and Dr. Purcell and Kristen Helsend are here tonight to talk to us. Good evening.
Good evening. That's you. What am I hitting? Yeah, nothing. All right, you're right there. Well, good evening, Board President, Mr. Clifford, Superintendent Dr. DeGrazia, members of our Executive Cabinet, and our esteemed guest. I'm Marie Porcel, the Principal of Sandburg, and this is our wonderful Assistant Principal, Kristen Jelson. We are happy to be here tonight to share a little bit about Sandburg with you. We're going to highlight a few of the programs, the events, and activities at Sandburg, and of course, we're also going to share some data with you, as well as some action plans for supporting every learner every day as they navigate their unique journeys. So part of supporting, yep, right there, thank you, every student's journey is ensuring that we're setting school-wide goals that align with our mission and our holistic approach to teaching and learning. Our mission statement is right there up on the left. I can't read it, but maybe you guys can. So really at Sandburg, we strive to create learning environments that help our students grow academically, to embrace diversity, to demonstrate excellence, and to foster kindness and empathy. We also work on respect and responsibility. So those are the big key character traits that we work on. And we gauge our progress through setting different goals aligned with our 5 state priorities, as well as through shared commitments. Now, in our last board presentation last year, we shared the following goals. They're right there on the right. And today we're going to share a few of the results with you. So our first goal was to increase our CAF scores by a minimum of 5%. If you look at our data, it shows that our overall growth for ELA was 4%, and our overall math growth was 7%. However, we were really excited about our 8th grade math students because they had a growth of 12% in math, which is huge, especially when you look at how we differentiate math instruction with 3 different courses in the 8th grade classes. And then our LPAC data shows a 12% growth, with 48% of our English learners making progress. Our second goal was to improve communication with all of our education partners, so with our teachers, with our students, as well as with our families. And we continue to use different platforms for ensuring we're communicating and over-communicating important school information. And we also use those platforms for gathering input from the different people to make sure that we're making decisions that everybody can buy into and have some input. We've worked with our safety committee to continue to refine and improve safety practices, and Kristen has really led that charge. And when looking at our Panorama survey data, we see that an increase in overall feelings of safety within the school environment, so we're proud of that. In our spring staff PD surveys, we always look to see what are our teachers interested in, what do we feel is the greatest need. And our teachers indicated that student behaviors and restorative practices was an area where they felt that staff could use additional training and support. So in response to that, this year we've worked with 2 different restorative practice consultants to try to learn new ways to create and maintain positive classroom climates where our students feel valued, where disruption is minimized, and where active engagement can flourish. And we've already seen a decrease in office referrals, so we know that it's working, and that's good news, and Kristen will share a little bit more about that later. Our 5th and final goal was to decrease chronic absenteeism and our suspension rates by at least 2%. So we're proud of the 3% decrease in chronic absenteeism, and although we didn't meet the 2% reduction in our suspension rates, we did have a very slight decrease of about 0.5%. And we'll dig deeper into some of the data to tell you a little bit about the action plan that what we did in order to achieve those results. So I think this might be my favorite slide because everything's coming up green if you look at those gauges there. I think this is a nice visual for looking at CAS performance data across the 5 state priorities. If you're starting at the top left there, the first set of data represents our ELA performance, and it shows an increase of 7.6 points, moving the gauge from yellow to green. The second set of data represents overall math performance, showing an increase of 9 points, and again moving the gauge from orange to green. And although we're really excited about the growth that we've seen in math, we do recognize that overall Sandburg math scores are about 19 points below standard. So we know we still have a lot of work to do in improving our math proficiency. And the third data set indicates our English learner progress. And as I mentioned earlier, we are super excited about the 12% growth for our English learners. And some of the things that we did intentionally last year that I really believe resulted in that is our admin team worked collaboratively with our ELD teachers to ensure that students that were in those ELD sections, they were consistently exposed to LPAC practice questions, so it wasn't a surprise to them when they looked at those questions. We made sure they were receiving strong vocabulary and reading comprehension support, And we also met individually with all of our EL students that were taking the LPAC to review their last year's scores and to set goals for improvement. And those intentional strategies really have paid off. And we'll talk a little bit more about chronic absenteeism and suspension rates and the action plans that we've had in place to reduce those rates. So this is the colorful slide that you've seen in all of our presentations, and it is kind of hard to look at. But I do think that it gives you a good detailed one-pager of Sandberg's 2025 CAS scores. We do have one group there that's circled in the red, and that is in the area of math. Our students with disabilities subgroup is performing in that red band, and they're scoring at about 131 points below standard, and this represents about 94 students. We're also examining where our student subgroups had scored within the orange and the yellow bands, and we're identifying individual students that need additional interventions and supports, such as including them in math intervention sections during the day or extra help in math tutorials after school. Something that we are really proud of that you can't see here, but you'll see in a later slide, the graphic that goes along with our ELA and math growth from 2024 to 2025. 65% of our students improved their ELA CAS scores, and 67% improved their math scores, which indicates accelerated growth in that area. We attribute this growth to the intentional strategies and the programs implemented by teachers, counselors, and admin, like meeting with students to review their CAS scores and to help them set goals for improvement, targeting students requiring additional math support, and continuing to ensure that our students that are on IEPs are getting the appropriate placement and support that they need to meet their goals and also to get closer to grade level mastery. But I think that when I look at this slide, I don't just look at that data. This kind of makes me kind of stop and ponder, brings some curiosity to me. Because when I'm looking at this, I'm also looking at who are those kids. So when we're analyzing this and we're looking at individual students, we also find that a lot of these students need social emotional support, different physical or mental health resources. And so here's an example. Sometimes we're looking at a student who's chronically absent. When we see that, we try to connect with the families and figure out what is happening, what are the factors that are impeding that student from coming to school. A lot of times we find all kinds of things that are going on. Sometimes it's a transportation issue, so we work to see what can we do to get that student to school. Sometimes they need some other resources in the home so that they can parenting support, so they can help to get that student motivated to come to school. So what we find is by making that connection and getting to know the students and the families, we can target those students for academic supports as well. And like Erin said, we have to make sure they're in school so that we can teach them and then we can do the good work.
Last year, our Panorama Social Emotional Learning Survey asked students for input regarding school safety, school climate, sense of belonging, and engagement. Our highest score was in the area of safety. However, we are still working on improving students' sense of belonging and engagement. We hope to see improved results through expanding elective offerings such as STEAM and art. And we are also reaching out to all student populations, but I have to talk to you guys a little bit about the 5 key engagement strategies that have really been successful at Sandberg. Number 1, the restorative practices professional development that we provided our staff has actually impacted our school campus this year, and I have some data to share with you. Through this design this year, we've actually reduced the number of our disciplinary infractions by 66%. Number 2, the counseling support that we provide our students, including for our Tier 2 and 3 students, has been bar none. And this is because we have not only our school counselors, but we have an LMFT, of which I'll talk to you guys a little bit about some of the referrals that we've done for our families, specifically for our Tier 2 and 3 students. Number 3, and I have to say this is highly impactful, is the positive teacher and student relationships via targeted in-class opportunities. Number 4, the increased elective choices. I'm going to give you an example. Our AVID enrollment increased 30% from grade 7 to grade 8. And currently we're working with our art and our STEAM teachers for our school year 26-27 program planned expansion of course offerings to them. That includes an Art 2 course as well as a STEAM Part 2 course. Number 5, the most impactful for me has been the 20-25% decline in chronic absenteeism rates through the student celebrations. For example, we've had the No Tardy Party, which is a hot cocoa party that we did for people who had 0 absences and 0 tardies. This is a combo. I want to give you guys some data. From August to January, we had 186 students who qualified for this. That represents 25.3% of our total student population. In middle school, we know the trajectory once they get to high school. So engaging them particularly through positive attendance ultimately pays off at the high school level, but it starts in middle school as well.
So as the site admin, our primary purpose is, as Erin had mentioned, to remove barriers to teaching and learning so that our teachers and our support staff can do their good work in supporting student learning. But Sandburg is much more than a learning institution, and we work collaboratively to sustain cherished traditions while also developing and implementing enhanced practices. So some of our cherished traditions include our continued partnership with PTA, and this year they are knocking it out of the park. They're amazing. The Nakamura Sister School Exchange Program, and one of our student favorites, the Haunted House Experience. There are several evolving and innovative practices we're exploring to further engage students and enhance their learning. Some examples include training teachers on the effective implementation of AVID strategies so that all of our students, even if they're not in the AVID elective, can benefit from the engaging lessons and activities. But I also want to highlight a few really wonderful things that some of our teachers have done this year. I want to highlight our amazing band teacher, Mrs. Ortiz, who brought back our middle school marching band. It's pretty amazing, and color guard at the middle school level. This has created an increase in student participation in band and color guard and a lot of school pride. We also have our wonderful STEAM teacher, Mrs. Brzee, who led the charge in facilitating the engaging STEAM Day that a lot of you guys got to come and enjoy with us, but she's also working on training teachers on how to get into the lab and do lessons across different content areas. And she's also developing new lessons for the new expanded electives that we're looking at for next year. But our vision really truly is to honor the traditions while embracing innovation. This reflects our commitment to doing what we know we love, but also reaching out and doing different things.
Our primary goal as Sandburg administrators is to support every student every day as they navigate through their middle school journey. We support students with academic growth through the intentional student placement within appropriate academic settings based on quantifiable data and anecdotal data, such as math intervention or pre-AP English and history placements. Our EL students specifically receive direct language development daily with a highly qualified teacher. We also offer smaller Title I funded courses for English for students struggling with reading comprehension, and writing and collab math and ELA sections for students with an IEP who require additional support. Additionally, we are proud to house a self-contained intensive needs program on our site where we work to promote the mastery of essential life skills and help facilitate greater independence. In terms of SEL, we have a highly skilled, compassionate student support specialist, 2 outstanding academic counselors, and a DIS counselor who regularly meets with students to review academic progress and set goals for staying on track. And they also help students to work through the social emotional barriers that negatively impact their educational experience. My favorite part.
Yeah.
In August of 2025, I conducted a staff feedback survey, and I asked what their biggest expectation was of me. They responded with 2 things: to refine our student classroom expectations and to align the campus behavior protocols. Part of that process involved norming our staff language and definitions, empowering staff with in-house resolutions, and supporting them through coaching and interpersonal development. Another critical element of our success for Sandburg staff is the investment in opportunities to replicate the same fun climate that we create for our students. The highlight of this past year has been watching relationships develop and reinforce the concept of cohesion that ultimately benefits the kids. When I joined the Sandburg family last July, the most salient feature of the Sandburg campus is its staff. Some of our unique binding events range from frequent staff luncheons to cooking competitions to themed up dress weeks. Our emphasis on creating a positive staff climate and culture has 2 key benefits. Number 1, it reinforces the strong bond between staff members, but number 2, the trickle-down effect that it has to improve student and staff relationships. I'd like for you guys to pay attention to some of the numbers in here while I talk, because this is really key pieces when it comes to supporting parents and community. Sandburg utilizes different opportunities to engage our parents and the external community. Some of our efforts are rooted in addressing the mental health and social emotional needs that emerge as a result of school-based inquiry or establishing relationships with parents, students, and family members that inevitably reveal opportunities for support and resources from us. One internal program I want to highlight is the establishment of our wellness room, run by our LMFT counselor, Ms. Lynn, during both lunches. This year alone, she has had over 3,800 visits to her room, which provides a respite for students who prefer a more tranquil environment or access to our counseling team in a more relaxed area. Sandburg also hosts many events throughout the year that allow us to engage with the community and individuals as part of educating our students through intentional design. Our annual Career Day in May exposes students to a variety of guest speakers, most of whom are Sandburg parents, that provide them with information on interesting and inquisitive career pathways. Additionally, and this is a little sparkle in my eye gets going here, our Spartan Garden serves as an exemplar of bringing students and the community together through many different events aimed at educating and promoting green initiatives unique to Sandburg. Our Spartan Garden has demonstrated such incredible impact that Sandburg Middle School has been formally announced as a 2026 Green Ribbon School by the California Department of Education.
Very cool. So we've shared some data and programs for supporting students, staff, and families, but we know that none of these would be possible without the passion that our staff brings to connect with our students every day. Relationships matter. While you enjoy these photos, I want to take a moment to highlight a few of the people and programs that encourage and engage our students, making Sandburg a great place to learn and grow. Our energetic ASB advisors motivate our students to hone their leadership skills by facilitating special events like Color Palooza, Pie Mr. Cotter, and our fall and winter pep rallies. Our amazing PTA collaborates with our staff to host cultural events and activities such as folklorico dancers during Hispanic Heritage Month. And there's more. And our Nakamura coordinator, Mrs. Gutierrez, coordinates and executes engaging activities for our Nakamura students, our adult guests, and our host families. And of course, we can't discount the positive impact our teachers and support staff have on student success through the daily interactions that they have and they forge with the students, because relationships really do matter.
Analyzing data, creating action plans, and evaluating program success are a part of the iterative process. As we collect current data and reflect on instruction and learning outcomes, we develop new goals, evaluate programs, and the cycle continues. Some of our goals moving forward include ensuring we are listening to all stakeholder voices. We want to consider multiple perspectives, including student voices, to create an inclusive learning environment with roles and opportunities for everybody.
We also want to continue to use formative and summative assessments like our CASP interim assessments and surveys to measure student progress and engagement and to inform instruction in order to continue to differentiate learning experiences for our students. Finally, we strive to celebrate our diverse student population and to promote equity through data analysis, intervention placement, and enrichment opportunities.
As we continue our journey, our shared commitment is to support our students in making academic progress, developing positive character traits, and finding their niche at Sandburg, knowing this is where they belong.
That is it. Go to the next slide.
Let me say
Thank you very much.
The most important one.
The end. The end.
Very good, another one done for you. I'll bring it back to the board if there's any questions or closing comments.
Ladies, you are a powerhouse. Thank you. I don't have questions because you answered them all in your presentation, but I did want to make note of something that I noticed, and I think that I've always noticed at Sandburg, is your intentional, like you realize that your students come in with a story, right? And you are intentional about learning that story. I know Mr. Lopez mentioned the name phase story, but the way that it's done at Sandburg, I really do admire that. And I've seen it in your presentations. I've seen it when I speak to your teachers. I've met with your math department and they too have expressed that. And I just want to commend you for that because I think it is part of the magic of Sandburg. And I really do think it's what brings about that success that your students are showing, and why your teachers are just, like, they love being at Sandberg. Because that's really the consistent message that I get. Like, the Sandberg teachers want to stay at Sandberg. They love Sandberg. And so I love hearing that, because that means you've created an environment that is welcoming for them too. You've embraced not just your students, but your teachers. So I wanted to just say thank you and congratulations for doing that. Mrs. Breesy started something with her STEAM Day. I want you to know this. It's a big topic of conversation. The Glendora Education Foundation just had a presentation by Mr. Zernikow, and he's going to do one as well. So that's the kind of stuff that is catchy, right? When you take it, like, she was brave to say, I want to do this, and you guys probably like, wait, what? You want to change the whole schedule?
Yes,
Right, and I love that. I love that you embrace, the traditions, but you're also very eager to try new things and take that chance, because that's what we need. Our students are asking, begging for that.
They deserve it.
So thank you for supporting her in that vision that she had, because I think it's created something. And the foundation, the Glendora Education Foundation, is very eager to support that. So, and I know that I was there, and I know I saw the students and how engaged they were. And even though some of them were confused, they were intrigued. They were curious, and that's what you want, right? That's all we want. So thank you for creating those opportunities for our students. I know I had something else, and I wrote it down. No, I want to go back to that, my statement on your ability to see the whole child. Sometimes we hear that, public education is like, stick to the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s. And I think the resounding message that I heard from you ladies, and also just all the data you've presented, is you can't. You can't do the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s without handling the whole child, without addressing all these barriers that they come with. So I appreciate your heart and intentionality with which you do that. Thank you. That's all I have.
I just want to say great job. Sandberg is always such a wonderful place and very unique. It's so cool to see things like the Spartan Garden, American History Day, all of those great things. And of course, Ms. Brzee and all the incredible work she's doing with the STEAM Day. And so, yeah, great job. And keeping up the good work about, listening to your staff as well. I mean, how great is it to hear that for the professional development, this is what we need, and to say, yes, here's a resource immediately where we can help you with that. And then to be able to look at statistics where we're not waiting a year and a half or 2 years to look at them, but say, like, right now we're seeing these things that are helping. So keep up the good work. Thank you so much. And you're doing a lot of really wonderful heavy lifting. So thank you.
Oh, just briefly, just want to say thank you very much for the presentation. Every time I visit Sandberg, it's such a great environment. Like you said, the teachers, the staff, they're amazing. I love the presentation. Happy that the scores are significantly going up, especially the 8th graders. That's amazing. I should be very proud of that. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Former Spartan. Yes, of course, a former
That's right,
Spartan.
I am a Spartan.
I'm not ever gonna get in the way of a former Spartan. I got a couple of them.
I am a Spartan. It's not even a former thing. It's Spartans for life.
Spartan for life.
Okay,
Spartans for
you're
life.
right.
Yeah.
You won.
No, fantastic. You guys covered everything. Got a great comprehensive report, and it is absolutely 100% true that the relationship, the name, face story matters to students, right? It matters to them every day. And taking care of your staff matters. So appreciate all the work you're putting in. You know where you were, you know where you are, and you know where you're going. So that's awesome. You have a great plan, and it's great to hear. So go Spartans.
Yay, thank you.
Not from a former Spartan or current Spartan, but hey, I just wanted to say great job, as you know, and I love what you guys are doing there. I'm glad you mentioned the 2026 green ribbon. I didn't see it in the presentation, but you said the words. And the other thing that we didn't talk about was you're going to be getting a big grant, I believe.
Yes.
And I think if you want to tell the community about that for 15 seconds, that would be great.
So $1.2 million grant to kind of redo our 3rd level of where our field is, where our track and field area is. And so we're pretty excited about that. So we're going to have hopefully better drainage up there so we can actually run on the track after it rains, and maybe some of the workout equipment around there. We have ideas, but I know it's not just our project. We're working in collaboration.
Right, it's a collaboration with the city and
Yes.
with the congressman and that entire staff, but it's 1.2 or something like that, which is really a good improvement. It's gonna be great, and I think that presentation will be happening soon, right? I got an email. And in closing, I just wanted to say again, as you know, I'm working with Rachel Bizzotto on, she reached out to me, and I'm gonna personally
Yes.
make sure that I can figure out how to get all those students to the place that she wants to send them, and give them a STEAM environmental extravaganza, which will be difficult, but I'll get it done. And I think that was a very nice note to get, and I'll make sure that it happens for you guys, and that'll be something that I think once it happens once, is gonna wanna be repeated.
Yeah, so I want to give a shout out to Rachel Bizzotto because, and Kristen, because she's the one who filled out that grant, her and Josie, and it was
I
a
had
lot.
co-writers.
Okay, but it was a lot of work, and so, Mrs. Bizzotto really loves her garden, and she has done so much. She's applied for grants every year, but 2 years in a row, she got the Sprouts grant, which is like $10,000. She's growing hydroponic plants, that we actually get to use to make salad in our cafeteria. So it's beyond just like a cute garden. It's a garden, and it's pretty amazing. And I know she just met with an Athens rep. I didn't know that was you though. About doing some composting in our lunch area. So she's really excited about that too. We tried this last year, but the cans were too small, and our kids need to learn how to use them correctly. So I know you're going to be working with us on getting us some new, I don't know what they're called, bins for the different kinds of refuse, so the kids can learn more about composting and recycling and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
So-
we're actually gonna get them to a facility to see how it happens too,
Yes.
so it's,
Oh, that's awesome.
lovely.
yeah, that was the latest
So
of
we
today. but-
appreciate that.
Yeah, good for you.
Can I just give a slight little bit of extra credit to, and please don't be mad at me, but the genesis of this project was actually Dr. Osborne, who started the
correct.
Spartan Garden. And when I spoke to Ms. Bizzotto, who has really taken this and just run with it, when I spoke to her, because I kind of had to learn her backstory when we were doing this grant, I said, tell me everything, start from chapter 1. And it turns out that she actually works with 8 partner organizations to continue the funding. It doesn't matter if the grant was $500 or the donation of materials or a landscaping company run by a parent. All of those things matter to what you see today. The body of work that's in front of you, 40 pages of an application was all the work, and it was due to Dr. Osborne along with many contributors, but Miss Rachel Bizzotto, bar none. I'm so blessed and honored to work alongside of her.
She's done a great job.
Thank you.
Again, very much.
Thank you.
Okay, last but not least, the mighty Whitcomb with the principal, Val Shabata. And I see somebody else came in with a Whitcomb sweatshirt on, I think, Wildcat, so. Perfect timing.
Thank you, yes. Let me see who else. Okay. Good evening, President Clifford, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Dr. DeGrazia, and Executive Cabinet. Thank you for inviting me here today to share with you the story of Whitcomb. And before I get started, I do want to introduce some of my staff that are here, and I'm very grateful for their support because we're a small staff, and I think percentage-wise, I have quite a large percentage here. So we have Kim Healy, who is an ATP aide, but she's also the union rep for our site for CSEA. Shannon Mamfelt, who is my office manager, and she runs the show, beside me. Maria, who is our special ed aide, who also fills in any hole that there is on our campus, and she also feeds us very often, so we appreciate that. Then we have Claire Interlicia, who is our, top-notch teacher who does credit recovery, and she also started a Smart Start class this year, which is, we call it kind of a extended orientation soft skills class, so we appreciate her. And then Linda Shook, who is our librarian, who is just amazing in all kinds of ways and does a lot of fun stuff with the kids on our campus. So I want to thank my staff for being here. Okay, now to this stuff. Okay, so to give you some information about Whitcomb, last year I ended on what our goals were for the year, and we use the acronym RISE, and RISE stands for Responsible Citizens, who respect themselves and others and care for their community, individuals who set and achieve personal goals, participate in a global society, scholars who engage in the learning process, think critically, and solve problems, and effective communicators who speak, listen, and write productively and advocate for themselves. So we wanted to continue with these goals and put them in the forefront of our minds. And as a school, we chose the theme of Rise Above for this year. And you see our hot air balloon there, and we use that throughout our campus. So throughout this presentation, I will show you how we are focusing on that theme of rising above. So here's a little bit of data, and in our CASP and ELA data, you see that 15.15% met or exceeded the standard, which unfortunately is a decrease from our previous year, where we were at 28.57. And I believe this has to do in large part to the lack of our English teacher, who was on a military leave for 10 months. And so we did our best, but there was inconsistencies in our instruction for English for those 10 months. We had 5 substitutes, and you can see the importance of having a consistent teacher, which did cause a decrease in our ELA scores, but we expect those to rise once again this year. How we are addressing that decrease by using Lexia, which is a program that works as an intervention to fill the gaps and provide a good foundation, and it uses the science of reading as part of its program, I should say as the whole program, so that will help our students fill those gaps. And also, we have teachers, our English teachers, that are participating in the Science of Reading workshop, which is being provided by the district. And in addition to that, we are continuing with AVID strategies in the classroom just to help increase the rigor for our students. Our math CASP scores actually increased. We have 6.07% who met or exceeded the standard compared to 0 from last year. However, we do need to improve a lot in our math scores. They're still very low. And so we are looking at, once again, AVID strategies to increase the rigor in the classroom. And I'm also researching some intervention programs to help fill the gaps that our students may have in their foundational math knowledge. So some more data, and this is good news here. We see that our graduation rate has increased by 14.2%, which puts us in the green for this indicator. And I just want to give a shout out to my counselors for helping us increase our graduation rate so significantly. They worked with each and every senior to try to get them over that finish line, and they did a great job. We also had a decrease in our suspension rate by 3.8%. We still have a little bit of ways to go, but that shows that we are improving in our suspensions that we're having at our school. So to address that, our staff is being trained in restorative practices to help us have a more restorative disciplinary process and have students feel more welcomed at school and engaged in the classroom. And then the third piece of data that I want to show you for engagement is our chronic absenteeism. You can see that it has declined steadily over the last few years, and we are currently at 59.7% compared to 67.2% from the previous year. And we believe this is due to the fact that we have an attendance policy in effect, which we do, that helps address that. And we also celebrate students when they have good attendance. So we have weekly celebrations, we have monthly celebrations, and quarterly celebrations. So all these measures are very positive and show that our students are more engaged and we are showing improvements in key areas. So this kind of disaggregates the data that I just shared with you, but basically shows you by student groups that we are improving, and it's really hard to see. It's really hard to see, but we are improving in the right areas. Our suspension rates are decreasing in every student group that is shown, And the reason why you don't see as many student groups is because we have a small population number, and if there are less than 30 students in any one subgroup, there won't be an indicator color. So you see that we're decreasing in every student group in suspensions, and we are increasing in graduation rate for every student group. So we are moving in the right direction, and that is what this slide shows us. So supporting our school story, I want to share with you how we are asking our students to rise above. So we are asking our students we are raising the bar on our students by having a distraction-free learning environment. So we have a no cell phone policy. We use the Yonder pouches, which was a little bit difficult to, at first, but they're used to it now. And, the teachers have seen an enormous increase in engagement in the students in the classroom. And we also don't allow backpacks, so we have a no backpack policy, or they have to have a clear backpack. And that has also removed a lot of distractions from the classroom. We also increase accountability with Edgenuity. So as a staff, we talked about how can we make Edgenuity a better program for our students. And so students do have to fulfill certain requirements, which includes taking notes and turning them in before having a quiz or test opened up to show that they actually went through the lesson and they learned something. So we have increased accountability and Edgenuity, and we also raised the bar on our honor roll. Our students have to not only fulfill that GPA requirement, but they can't fail any classes. They have to maintain good attendance, and they have to have good behavior. So we see that our students are rising to that higher bar. We are also asking our staff to rise above. They're currently getting trained on restorative practices. We have the same trainers that Danbury are using, and we have really learned a lot and really enjoy being trained on restorative practices. We're increasing rigor in the classroom, and our teachers are doing cross-curricular planning. They have created common writing and grading rubrics, and they're using data to drive instruction. So we are requiring our teachers to also raise the bar and rise above. Okay, so how we support our students. So I did mention earlier we do have the Lexia, which supports our students in English intervention. We have SEL topics that our counselors give workshops on, and they're specific to our student needs. So we did have a SEL lesson on cell phones when we first implemented the cell phone policy and its effect on mental health. And they also had a lesson on holiday blues close to the holidays, and then they've had other lessons related to specific student topics that we felt the students needed. We have gone on some field trips specifically to the CTE Fairplex to look at the CTE programs and the CTE Citrus College Fair. So I want to thank my counselors for putting those field trips together and exposing our students to CTE opportunities, in addition to what we offer in the classroom, which is our health careers and our administration of justice pathways. We've also had college visits, once again to Citrus and also to Mount Sac, and college workshops. They come onto our campus and they provide workshops for our students and prepare our students for the next step in their education. And our counselors also put on a yearly career fair with presentations from multiple career fields, and I know many of our board members went and walked through those workshops, and so thank you for your support. We've also opened up many clubs this year to allow our students to have more opportunity for engaging in our school. So that includes art, we have NAMI, leadership, we have a new club called Sports Club, a book club, and a candy club, and this gives students lots of opportunities to get involved in the school. Our students are still participating in the San Gabriel Valley Athletics League, which is the second year that they've participated in this league since COVID. And we have lots of recognition programs, and this is, you know, I see all of you there at our recognition programs, along with many of our community members, so I really appreciate the support. There's one more thing that's not on there, but I do want to mention is that we have a quarterly principal student advisory committee, which we come together to discuss issues that are happening at the school and to give students the opportunity to voice their concerns. So we did talk about the cell phones. That was a big issue at the beginning. We talked about safety, and we've talked about our school environment. So our students also have voice on our campus. And then how we support our staff. We want them to do good work in the classroom. So we're supporting that by having weekly professional development, helping them with teaching strategies, avid teacher tools, once again, restorative practices, and we give them planning time where they've done the collaborative work of common rubrics and also cross-curricular planning. And we are also a team, and we make shared decisions in our school, which includes new policies and procedures. And then we also have fun together. We celebrate birthdays, and we have monthly potlucks, and we like to do fun things together. As you could see, Halloween, and you know, we celebrated Mr. Love for Veterans Day and things like that. And in supporting our parents in our community, a unique way we support our parents is by having mandatory orientation so that all students and parents know what to expect upon enrolling at Whitcomb. We also started this year to have preview days for families who are considering but not sure about transferring to Whitcomb. So we give them a tour and we do a modified orientation for them. In our SAIL program, families are allowed to tour and observe the program when requested to see if it is a right fit for them. And we also offer that to prospective Whitcomb students. We welcome parents to recognition events and invite them to celebrate with us. And this is also a time when our community comes to Whitcomb to support our parents. And I just want to point out that our students were really excited about meeting the mayor of Glendora, and they wanted to shake his hand and talk to him. So I put that picture up there. Our counselors provide, in the works is counselor workshops, where our counselors will provide workshops related to topics that parents need and request. So our first workshop will be on March 12th, and it'll include academic, SEL, or any other topic of which the parents are requesting. So they're actually having a meeting to ask the parents, what would you like to know or learn about from us? So that is in the works. And then I also don't want to forget that our PTSA is very supportive and helps us in very many ways and funds a lot of our activities that we have on our campus and a lot of our clubs. So thank you to the PTSA and their support. So on this slide, I just wanted to share with you the untold story of Whitcomb High School. Whitcomb is a safe, supportive place where students feel welcomed and valued. We provide students with a second chance and the opportunity to catch up on credits while helping them build confidence in their ability to succeed. Our staff is caring, hands-on, and deeply committed to our students. We know our students by name, understand their challenges, and support both their academic progress and mental health. Many who have worked at Whitcomb describe it as the district's hidden gem. We hold high expectations for our students, and time again, they rise above and achieve success. Therefore, I would describe Whitcomb as supportive, empowering, and transformative. So to continue our journey, our next steps will be to continue to rise above with our WASC and our SIPSA goals, which are actually the same. We will increase academic rigor, I should say continue to increase academic rigor, improve attendance, SEL support, and increase parent participation, which is something I definitely would like to work on, is increasing our parent participation. And that is the end of my presentation. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you very much for that enlightening presentation on Whitcomb. We'll bring it back to the board.
You mentioned the underbags. How's that been working? How many do you have? And how, I know you said there was like a slow growth, but, just kind of how things are going now.
Every student has a yonder pouch, and we have extra in case they lose them or break them, or we have new students, because, we have a fluctuating enrollment. So we have about 65 yonder pouches now. We do have 2 students that use a medical pouch, which is a Velcro pouch, because of certain needs that they have. But all the other pouches are magnetically closed, and students have tried very hard to try to open those and even bought magnets, but so far nothing's worked. Yeah, so we have about, they're in use of 65 pouches, and all the students use them. Well, I shouldn't say all the students who bring the phones use them, and if they hide their phone and they pull it out during class, the teachers will have them pouch it. So they know if we see the phone, we pouch it. So if they have it and they don't show it, then, I think the spirit of the law is being held there. They're not using it during class time.
Absolutely. Way to go. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Great presentation.
Great presentation. Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much for being here. I love Whitcomb, as you know.
Yes.
And I wanted to know, what is your current enrollment?
65 students.
And then has that enrollment increased or decreased in the time that you've been at Whitcomb?
So it does fluctuate, but at this time last year, we were slightly higher. We were probably close to 75 students, and by the end of the school year, we were close to, 90, 93. But we are starting a new quarter in about 3 weeks, and so we may be getting more students at that time. It's really, like I said, hard to say because it fluctuates depending on student needs that are coming from Glendora or other school districts, so.
And then how many students do you have in the SAIL program right now?
SAIL, I believe, is currently at 10, and I think the max is 12 students for that program.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, but we have a lot of interest in the SAIL program.
Okay, so it's thriving.
Yes, it is thriving.
You also had mentioned some interest, or I had seen some advertisement for adult classes. How's that going?
So, well, I'm the principal of the adult ed program, and so last year we had more programs than we had this year. We had to pare down on our programs this year because of financial issues. So this year, the only parent ed program we currently have is the one at Williams, which is called the Parent Participation Program, or the Mommy and Me. I call it Mommy and Me program. So that class is full every semester, and it serves 30 adults.
Okay. And but that's at Williams.
At Williams, yeah,
Okay.
with Shannon Greer.
Is it mostly with the kids that are in the preschool, or
These are
younger?
kids
Younger.
18 months to 4 years, and so any parent in the community can sign up to take that class. And because there's so much interest, there's kind of a first come first serve type of thing with that class.
And I know that Dr. Kayam and I attended the career field day. Is that what you called it, the field day? Or?
Yeah, career day, just a career day. Yeah.
It was awesome. I
Thank
loved
you.
walking into and I love the questions that the students had. They were very engaged and had a lot of questions, so it was good to see them
Yes.
interested and coming out of their shell and asking questions to the presenter. So I do want to say thank you to your counselors for putting that together, because even though it's a small group, they're mighty, and I appreciate the work that you guys are doing at Whitcomb, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that presentation. What was the name of the club that made the jewelry at that, and was?
Actually, that was a SAIL class. So they have a business, like in their economics class, they kind of create this student business, and so that's the SAIL program. But Linda has a candy club, so the last, if you came for the last recognition brunch, she also was selling candy.
Yeah, there were
That's
candy,
the candy
and
club.
yes, there was the candy and the jewelry. It made a lot of people happy at Valentine's. And it was
Yes,
just-
so the
thank you
students
for
do
those
make that
students. Shout
candy.
out to those students who, they were right there at the entrance
Yes.
with everything for sale, and it was just kind of a neat little,
Yeah, they have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah,
They-
so I appreciate that too, and I appreciate the students that were involved with it. I think there were students there that were actually selling
Yes.
the stuff, at least to me, and it was very fun. And
Yeah.
it ended up being fun for a bunch of other people later too, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
And thank you for making that journey for them. I really appreciate your graduation ceremonies and all the energy that is in the crowd during that time too.
Very
So
emotional
thank you for
time.
that presentation.
Thank you.
Just briefly, I just want to say thank you for the presentation, your staff for all coming here. Whitcomb's a special place, and I appreciate all the hard work you're doing. The increase in graduation rate is amazing also, so
Thank
keep
you.
up the good work.
We're trying, thank you. Appreciate it.
No, thank you for the presentation and for the staff for being here. It's awesome. Wickham is a special place. It always has been. You mentioned something about a math program that you were looking for.
Yes.
Have we looked into IXL?
I was actually considering the iMath, part of the iReady program, because I've visited a lot of other continuation schools and they do use that program and they do seem to like it. So I'm gonna look into
There is
that.
already, there's IXL also, which is a great gap filler.
Uh-huh.
So if there's just something for us to look into, I think as a district, so it would be awesome. But no, great presentation. I'm glad to
you.
hear that you're maintaining, well, what comes that place, right? It's where, it's a fit for some kids, right? Some students don't fit into the comprehensive high school. And it's a great place for kids to find themselves and then move on to the next level. So appreciate the work that all of you do with our Whitcomb students every single day.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Thank you, staff, for being here, hanging out with us tonight. We appreciate all of you, you know that. Thank you. All right, that moves us to our next exciting item, which is item 6.1, which is approval of resolution 25-26-11 to implement classified service reductions due to lack of work or lack of funds. And the recommended action is the Board of Education approve this resolution. Specifically, the resolution proposes the discontinuance of 1 maintenance specialist, 3 carpentry currently vacant shall be deemed inactive. I'll turn it to Dr. DeGrazia for any further presentation.
Dr. Osborne for a brief summary of the item.
Yes, this resolution is part of normal business. When we have a classified position that is not needed, we would determine it as inactive. In this case, this position is vacant and not needed, and so this resolution would deem it inactive.
Thank you for that presentation. I'll bring it back to the board. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
A motion, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion on this? All those in favor?
Aye.
Is there any opposition? 6-1 passes. Thank you very much. That moves us to item 7, which is the consent. Tonight, the consent is items 8.1 through 11.2, stay 9.1. Can I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and we have a couple of seconds, so since there's seconds, we'll take them. Is there any discussion on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Is there any opposition? Those items pass. I will then take the meeting now down to item 12, and I will turn it over, 12.1, I'm gonna turn it over to Dr. Cam.
So for adjournment of the meeting tonight, I think it's important for us to talk about the interconnective nature of our community. Richard King was a pillar of our community. He was a staple of every GHS basketball game, football game, was standing and sitting in the stands religiously. He was an incredibly patient neighbor. For 35 years, he bought every candy bar that I was selling, every coupon book that I was peddling, and didn't even hit me when I was in the middle of the road spinning a mace, trying to be a drum major. Most importantly, he has an incredible family, and it only makes sense that we close tonight's meeting in his honor. So at 8 p.m., I'll adjourn the meeting in honor of Mr. Richard King. Thank you.
So moved. Have a good night.